Video sponsored by Surfshark VPN.
We would like to play.
Sorry, I'm Catholic. For a big chunk of Nintendo's gaming career, it was always going downhill financially. Due to stronger competition, each console sold worse than the last. With no hyperbole, growing up with a GameCube was equal to, or if not worse than being a second-class citizen. All three consoles were about the same in graphics power, except the Cube had no online, no DVDs, no Grand Theft Auto, no Star Wars Battlefront, no Futurama the game? Great first-party titles weren't enough. Nintendo needed to differentiate themselves. They needed to find a bigger audience. They needed a revolution.
People keep asking if I'm back. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Nintendo Wii console hit store shelves amid a frenzy in some places.
Is that people who really haven't played video games much in the past before really picked up and played quite easily.
It is still almost impossible to find Nintendo Wii systems in stores, but PlayStation 3s are always readily available.
Sony's PlayStation 3 sold just far below expectations.
Who wants a new Wii? Huh?
Before smartphones, the casual market didn't have much options, and that's why the Wii did so well. Simple to understand motion controls. That meant kids and grandmas playing together and smashing their TVs. So, let's cover some of the best, the worst, the weird, the casual, or hardcore games. Got something you want me to cover? Put it down below. I'm doing the Xbox 360 next. It's Juice and Jam time.
A new opponent is ready to face you.
We want fun, and you might as well face it. We wanna have fun, and we wanna get wasted.
A 2-liter bottle of Shasta and my all-Russian mixtape. Let's rock.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives.
Are you looking for a franchise about overthrowing everything from the government, the police, organized religion, propaganda? Well, I got the game for you. You think I'm joking? The Blob at first seems simple: enter different sandboxes, color the world, and do missions within, like Mario 64 mixed with Splatoon. But who else is taking color away other than this dictatorship? Take down their factories, military bases, police stations, even the quote, Church of Inkology. Yeah, for real. This game don't mess around. You gotta tear down that church and replace it with a skate park. Way to radicalize. Even the sequel has blatant references to voter fraud, cults, and the Tiananmen Square protests.
Bitch, are you for real?
The Blob is a raging political manifesto that'll be used against you in a court of law. Damn straight I tipped over the statue of that Confederate general bastard, I don't care. All this from such a simple game created by college students in the Netherlands. In the Utrecht School of Arts, 8 aspiring developers released a free PC game, De Blob, from 2006. This caught the attention of publisher THQ, who bought up the rights. 2 years later, they released a more refined De Blob on the Wii, while a DS port was cancelled. He has a skeleton? What the hell? Let me ask you, how can you not be won over by this game's jazzy dynamic soundtrack? Upon entering the stage, the city starts out monochrome without a sound. But the more you color, the more this mixtape kicks in. It rivals Katamari in its optimism. The music keeps elevating while each color uses a different instrument. They even let you pick a song before going in. Check out these bangers. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? It's a fun time, though. The Blob can be a bit repetitive with the same few mission types, and everything you painted is reset after you leave the stage. Kinda wish you could continue later on. Instead, it takes like an hour to 100% a single level. I also hate the racing missions. Really, they're fine, but you gotta follow these little sparks that don't stand out too well. Now, if you played this on the Wii, you gotta jump by swinging the Wii remote at all times. Wall jumping feels especially sticky. Good thing this exclusive was later ported to the Switch, PC, Xbone, and PS4, which is what I'm playing on, 1080p and higher res textures. While these more powerful consoles did not fix the graphics pop-in, the controls work so much better with buttons. No doubt, it's the best way to play. Now, before I wrap this segment up, if you struggle to remember color mixing, I always think back to this Rugrats clip which played in my head every 5 minutes in this game. It was very useful.
Mommy, how do you make green?
Blue and yellow, honey.
Thank you, Mommy.
Ignoring this being the official game of Antifa, The Blob is an easygoing game. It was a quality original third-party title for the Wii by a developer that typically did crummy Nickelodeon games. There was only one sequel made, and there could have been more, but publisher THQ shut down and then came back, but that's not really the same THQ. RIP regardless. Such a wholesome game. Are you tired of this happening? Well, you need Surfshark VPN. Yes, sir, the sponsor of tonight's video. What's a VPN? It's great. It changes your internet region and protects your privacy. You got Netflix, just switch regions and bam, you can see what other countries have on their Netflix. It's that easy. How about something to keep you safe, especially on public Wi-Fi? Nothing can stop you. Use the code RebelTaxi to get 83% off plus 3 extra months. Don't like that? You got a 30-day money-back guarantee. Oh, what? You got an incognito window on your browser? Wow, that's completely useless. Surfshark VPN. It's got clean web. This thing will block malicious ads, trackers, and malware. Don't trust an internet provider. Trust Surfshark VPN. Use the code RebelTaxi to get 83% off plus 3 extra months. You got a 30-day money-back guarantee. VPN. For a brief moment in history, Wii Sports was regarded as the best-selling game of all time with 82 million copies sold, although since it came free with the console, that really inflated the numbers. That's like bragging about the sales of silica packets all because they come inside beef jerky bags. Would anyone have bought Wii Sports had it come separate or freshened up jerky? Maybe so. It wasn't included in Japan's console, yet it was still a big seller there. Who can resist 5 games anyone can play using your customizable me based on yourself or some celebrity who roundhouse kicked me in a bar that one time? True story. Actually, no, that's a fucking lie. The first game is tennis with 2 versus 2 matches. Instead of working with an AI partner, you gotta control 2 Mii clones at the same time with the same button inputs. This implies Miis operate via a hive mind. I think I spend most of my time on baseball. Look at my stats. Are you impressed or disgusted because I thrive off either? Batting works fine, but pitching is too simple. Supposedly if you press a directional button, it changes the throw type, but that's all the control I feel I have. As for catching, that's automatically done by the computer's AI who will determine your fate. Will the gaming gods smile upon me? What did I do wrong recently? Golf, that's what it is, and it just has the coziest Sunday afternoon mood. It's very dependent on you not swinging too hard, which is alright, but once you're up close using the putter, you really gotta be subtle with your movements. I either overdo it or it doesn't even register, there's no in-betweens, though maybe my day 1 2006 Wii remote is starting to go bad.
car.
Bowling, you know the drill. Hey, watch this. I always do this Easter egg. It blows my nana's mind. Now, boxing is the only one that requires the nunchuck attachment. Man, if I knew how to jerk off back then, I would have choked myself out with this baby sooner. Wii Boxing does a great job in mimicking your movements and has a bit of depth. Punch, dodge, or block. This really inspired a demand for a new Punch-Out game, which the console eventually got. It's not reviewed in this video because that game still costs like 30 bucks. Wii Sports breaks everything down to basics so anyone can play. It may take away too much control, but that's the point. I think for most gamers, this is the one game we were able to play with our families. It was just like the commercials. During get-togethers, we would laugh our asses off, boxing and creating me caricatures of each other. It was just so fun until we made someone's nose too big and that didn't sit right with them, so they ostracized themselves from the family. It was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. My Aunt Gloria still wants nothing to do with us. She was kind of a fuck-up anyway. We have no idea if she's even alive or not. God damn. Fuck her. Point is, these me commercials bring back terrible memories and would play all the time next to ads about Billy Mays, Shirley Temple, and that asshole who would shake me down for not going to college.
You're sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, and your life's passing you by. You keep procrastinating over and over. Well, maybe I'll go to school next year, maybe next semester. No, do it right now.
Bro, it's 2006. I'm in middle school. I just want to watch Camp Lazlo in peace and play more Wii games like the ones we got coming up.
Firebird mode!
You are watching G-Force.
This bout will determine who is the strongest once and for all.
After almost a decade of not releasing a new Street Fighter game that wasn't just an update or a compilation collection, Capcom gave us Street Fighter 4. All of a sudden, fighting games were back on the company's agenda. But what about the crossovers? Marvel vs. Capcom, Capcom vs. SNK, and Capcom vs. Sabado Gigante. A classic. Well, the big return to that was Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Who? You can
Tatsunoko vs. Capcom.
Well, from the Capcom side, it's a good selection. You gotta rep some Beautiful Joe, Rival Schools, Dead Rising, Lost Planet, Darkstalkers, and look, Legends of Mega Man, X-Zero, and Classic Roll. Hell yeah! Then there's Tatsunoko, the anime studio. Cashern. Who? Remember Gatchaman, aka G-Force, aka Battle of the Planets? No. They were gonna add the Samurai Pizza Cats, but Disney owns them apparently. And Speed Racer was considered, but they couldn't think of a moveset outside his car. Come on, that didn't stop Captain Falcon, plus Speed often uses guns and fists. Regardless, it's a miracle that this even went international. A lot of fans and press assumed this would only be a Japanese exclusive.
Meaning that clearing the American rights to show them all in one game would be a logistical nightmare. So will this game ever come out to American shores? The answer is a resounding no.
The lack of brand recognition wasn't the only issue, but also licensing. For every individual character, Capcom's legal team had to clear them for each country. Depending on location, some channel or DVD company may have the exclusive rights to them. Thankfully, a few of those rights had expired, while others needed negotiation. Only one character was removed outside Japan, Hakushan Daimao from the Genie family, also owned by Disney, I think. Blame Saban. Other features that remain Japan exclusive are the animated ending cutscenes and the minigames each fighter was given. I know they seem kinda pointless, but they just remind me of the stuff you'd get in Pokemon Stadium. I would've loved it. To make up for the cuts, America and Europe got 5 new fighters. Damn, some of which are clones, but we can also unlock
Ultimate All Shooters!
It's a 4-player top-down shmup taking place in the Lost Planet universe. It's practically a little arcade game of its own with alternate pathways. Even the 4 selectable heroes have their distinct abilities.
Hadouken! Hadouken!
It's about time we normalize Hadouken spamming. Overall, there is no one definitive version of Tatsunoko VS Capcom. Crazy to think the Japanese one is the worst version, but enough comparisons. How's the game? This year is a tag team 2 vs 2 fighter meant to be easy to use. There's only 3 attack buttons and it's compatible with GameCube, fight sticks, and classic controllers. Though if you use the Wii remote, none of the buttons correlate to light, medium, heavy attacks. They just become a random button. You're basically letting Jesus take the wheel here. Also in the main menu, Wii remote users have to switch to a TV remote position for some reason. It's like they're punishing you for not buying a better controller. One cool gimmick is you can select these massive fighters that eat up 2 character slots. Feels like you're playing as a boss, even though the actual final boss is not playable. Point is, they're big. Though somehow, normal man photographer / journalist Frank West can still drop their ass.
Yeah! Dead Rising! Assist okay! Good!
Okay, maybe that's a Japanese thing, but I don't think Frank West would just shout his game's title during battle. Dead Rising! While this game feels forgotten, Tatsunoko VS Capcom actually sold above expectations in America. Nothing amazing, but it showed people were hungry for more crossovers. This was kind of the opening act before we got Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or the shitty one. You gotta be thankful we even got Tatsunoko here. If only there existed a definitive port with all the features included. Oh well.
Game over!
Have a bunch of interesting ideas for a game, but they don't correlate together at all into a cohesive vision? Just make a minigame collection. That's basically my videos, a mini review collection. The Wii was the go-to for endless shovelware, and I'm obligated to review at least one. This one being donated to me by Nathaniel F. Send me stuff to my P.O. box pinned on my Twitter. They gave this to me in person at MomoCon, but semantics. Now, you've heard of games based on movies like Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie, or Street Fighter the movie, the game? Well, cut out the middleman. This is movie games. And it's presented by Family Fest. I thought this was some sort of Dove Foundation Pray the Gay Away sticker of quality, but no. As far as I can tell, this is just part of a lineup of games. 2 of them. Well, how could this series fail? Movie Games gives us 20 whole mini-games themed around fake films. Actually, it's only 4 they repeat with slight variants. The first being an endless runner, just waggle away with the absolute laziest use of the Wii remote. Waggle, waggle, waggle. There's no jumping, no ducking, no obstacles. Sometimes you have to run away from something, which doesn't really change anything. I'm only moving forward. The saddest part is, if you don't have any other friends, you're just playing by yourself with no AI, sitting in a room waggling off by yourself.
Boom time, baby. Trick or treat. Looks like a party. Come on. I got places to go and people to meet.
Well, how about an arcade shooter that goes on way too long? Or maybe a match 3 puzzle game is your fit. Except, In complete darkness. Wow, this is just what puzzle games were missing. Claustrophobia. Now for some dancing, swing vertical or horizontal. Sometimes the game will get confused and assume you're moving the wrong direction. You only got 4 minigames to test, how could you screw that up? And that's all you get. This game's only saving grace is the art style. It's got that jaggy Art Deco Salvas style, where polygons become part of the aesthetic, something more 3D games should do. You know, like the Incredibles end credits or that Nickelodeon X's show that everyone said was an Incredibles knockoff, which it's not. Style is all movie games has going for it. Nothing more to say. But there's unlockables. Unlock the credits or a tournament mode. Who the hell is gonna play this in a tournament? We'll be back with more gaming after these messages. Ghostbusters meets Katamari, the perfect description for Elebits. All you gotta do is collect these little creatures the game is named after. The more you capture, the heavier of objects you can pick up and throw. Solve physics puzzles and use power-ups such as homing lasers or a glowing yellow pheromone that'll lure horny Elebits in. The game says it's a cookie, but we can see what's going on here. Yeah, a cookie. From their perspective, she's a whole damn cake. The controls mostly work well, except when opening doors. You gotta twist the handle, then push or pull. It should be easy, but the opening shuts faster than me trying to get my foot in the door of the animation industry after what I drew in the Cartoon Network stairwell. Sorry. Now, I admire the story. This is a world where Elebits are the main source of power. After a blackout, you gotta capture them all, as the Earth quickly realizes, wow, Elebits suck for power. But you know what doesn't suck?
Fossil fuel!
All these illustrations are gorgeous, though the voice acting is the opposite.
Kai, are you okay? Your mom and I are looking into what has been happening around the world. Whatever it is, it's causing all the Elebits to act pretty strangely.
Oh, what's that? You just fell off your skateboard and didn't wear a helmet? You're perfect to voice our characters right here, right now, as you bleed over the sidewalk. Those luscious paintings really sandbagged the basic in-game graphics, but they compensate with a ton of physics objects tumbling about that'll kill the frame rate. They tried.
Toilets energized.
You can also use a map editor and could share creations through Wi-Fi, thus making Elebits the first Wii game to use online before Nintendo did. No online multiplayer though, no split screen either. The way multiplayer works is everyone shares one screen and someone is assigned camera controls. What an interesting idea, though that person in charge could be in the lead and just face the wall if they want to be a dick.
Hey, don't make me turn this game around. Okay, that's it. We're going to the corner. This is all chafing my sense of whimsy.
Hey, look, it's an Elebit, I think. Oh, it's a very small person. Hey, there he goes! Yay, hi, Elebit.
Twilight is twinkling the town tonight.
Elebits was such a simple game that used every aspect of the Wii you could think of, a satisfying Katamari-like and tech demo. While the console may have struggled to keep up, it'd be perfect for VR, but as of now, there was only one sequel for the DS, which is a totally different game, a sort of top-down adventure. Oh well, it's a total mystery as to why this Konami-published franchise hasn't done more. Oh, right. Why does this bunny look familiar? It's probably from some cartoon. With all the promotion going on and the rare convention-exclusive plushies made, it's clear Elebits wanted to be a bigger franchise. R.I.P.
Gentlemen and ladies, start your engines, because Mario Kart for Wii starts burning rubber around the world online in the first quarter of next year.
Now, I've cited Mario Kart Double Dash and DS as the best in the series, which it is, during my first GameCube vid. I grew up with those games, but this is my first time with the follow-up, Mario Kart Wii. Guess what console that released on?
Nathaniel. What is Zelda?
That is not a console! So, what's new? Well, it's not just karts. You got bikes. They're better at turning and can do wheelies that'll boost your speed at the price of not being able to turn for a few seconds. Kinda OP. Included with the game is the wheel, but you can just use the GameCube controller like a normal person. There was online multiplayer and missions mode like the DS game, except it's online only, which isn't up anymore. But just like the DS, you got 16 new tracks and 16 retro tracks. Some of these are my new favorites. I got a bias for city locations. Moonville Highway and Coconut Mall, which is densely populated with all the Miis designed after my former enemies. This guy knows what he did to me. Koopa Cape is another favorite. Much of the track is a river, giving you a big speed boost should you stay within the water. With the aquarium tunnel section, this just begs to be a ride at.
Universal Studios! Cha-ching!
I would say this is a great follow-up for the franchise, but there's one big issue so many reviewers bring up, and that's balancing. You will be obliterated by weapons being spammed and rubber banding outracing you. Many titles on the Wii were meant to be more accessible to casuals, including this.
And this is also the Mario Kart, where a first-timer can immediately stay bumper to bumper with a kart veteran.
But it seems like they failed on that front because this is way more brutal than the previous console game, Double Dash. Your invincibility frames have been reduced and acceleration after a hit is miserable. Now, one feature I like is doing tricks off a half pipe for an extra boost or item. You can stay on the main path or go for the half pipes on the side if you're feeling risky. It's optional, but sometimes it's needed to boost through terrain made to slow you down. A good extra bit of challenge, but not exactly casual friendly. They also changed the way drifting works. Before, you would be in a drift and hit left, right, left, right, left, right to increase the boost you get. The faster you move, the faster you get that boost. But too many players exploited that on Mario Kart DS Online to become unbeatable, so now the drift eventually gives you a better boost if you drift for a locked amount of seconds. Weak. Mario Kart Wii's good, but nerfing my favorite feature of drifting brings it down. That and the graphics. Now, many 3D models of the characters and maps are taken from Double Dash, but somehow it manages to look worse thanks to the atrocious blurry bloom effect. Why? Is this a traumatic flashback? Since the Wii wasn't much more powerful than the GameCube, they had to differentiate it visually somehow. This was just that era where game developers discovered bloom effects and put them in everything. Freaking disgusting. But my biggest passion? Graphic design. I hate this so much. Look at your place in the laps. The transparency reminds me of a napkin covered in french fry grease. Do you see the 3D depth slanting to the right and then you got this shadow to the left? There's no flow. It reminds me of that god-awful Tumblr logo the side had for a while. Look at this fucking bullshit. Now look at how clean Double Dash is. Also the time numbers. Bright shiny gold, orange mixed with light yellow. Sure, Double Dash may be too colorful, but it's better than this. A yellow gradient with black? Did their Crayola markers touch? The whole game looks like a clash between the minimalist iPod-styled Wii and gaudy gold. What were they going for? Were these fonts placeholders? What is this? Why would you do this? But at least you got bots for multiplayer modes, which are team-based only. Why? I guess if you suck, your AI team might make up for your inabilities, or they'll drag you down. Who knows? It's random. That means I might randomly win and assume the game is easy. What a load. So many issues could have been fixed if they just gave you options for teams and items like Smash Bros. Nintendo wanted a one-size-fits-all experience, which I don't think worked out so well. But let's close this out by discussing the online. To this day, hardcore players are keeping the online running with homebrew hacks, custom characters, and tracks. Much like Super Smash Bros. Melee with less pedophilia, there's a whole competitive scene that deconstructed when certain items like blue shells will pop up. It's an exact science. Someday, I like to soft mod my Wii to try it, but reviewing the base game, Mario Kart Wii is average. Yeah, I said it. Unless you're one of the competitive sociopaths online picking Funky Kong for his superior stats, using glitched out shortcuts and cowering every 50 seconds of the obligatory blue shell appearance. If that describes you, then this is the best game of all time to some. Personally, I do a Z-target backflip every day of my life, so that's just not the life I want to live. We'll be back with more gaming after these messages.
Bad answer.
It's game time.
Being online during the Wii era, you always had forum users discrediting Nintendo because it's rated E, that means it's only for kids. Bitch, you're playing a video game. If your dependence on maturity is based on what video game you feel less insecure about playing, you're a fucking dumbass. No one cares you play gun-tit shooter, you're already a disgrace to society the moment you pick up a controller. Anyway, the Wii needed some more M-rated games for its street cred, something less casual. That's why everyone online was excited for the upcoming Project Heroes.
Hear the lullaby? Rest in peace, baby.
No one was quite sure what this was about, but it was by Suda51, this director who made something called Killer 7, which a lot of commenters pointed out as a blatant ripoff of Sneakers on Xbox. True story, watch my video on it. Project Heroes was oozing style. I watched this trailer so many times over for art inspiration. The shading, the music, the one-liners.
Your shining armor and fine words won't get you anywhere.
Thankfully they changed his voice in the final game titled No More Heroes. No more heroes?
Fuckhead!
True badass anime man.
You play as Travis Touchdown, who has to kill all 10 assassins ranked above him in an open-world hack and slash. It's kind of like Scott Pilgrim, except he has far more respect for women.
If I become number one, will you do it with me?
What kicked off this entire story was Travis buying this weapon off eBay.
I think George Lucas gonna sue somebody.
He bought a fully functional lightsaber.
Whoa, waiver, light waiver. Very different from what you're about to say.
He bought a fully functional light waiver off eBay, so might as well become an assassin now. Well, geez, maybe I should blow $200 on this official Sims 2 inflatable chair and see where my life takes me.
Destroy man.
Come and get some.
Oh, damn it.
On your way to kill 10 assassins, each of them has only a few minutes of screen time, but leave you wondering just who they were. They're not always waiting for you, as they're kind of just doing their own task as you interrupt them for a fight. In this world, assassins are considered mundane and comparable to movie stars. Each of them represents how fame ruined them, whether it be losing touch with their family, abusing alcohol, or just getting jaded. This chick literally has killing down to an assembly line process.
It's just a job. The daily grind.
You're no assassin. You're just a perverted killing maniac.
In essence, they're the same.
Now, killing 10 guys would be a short game, so they space out each stage with an open world minigame collection where you gotta do odd jobs for cash.
Yes. Yes.
All this grinding was the most criticized part of the game with how barren the town is. There's locations that feel like there was supposed to be more to it, but is never used much, like this area with a fixed camera angle for no reason. Many of the buildings and NPCs feel very distinct, like imagine playing The Simpsons Hit and Run with all its locations based on specific episodes of the show. Now imagine if that game just existed and there never was a Simpsons TV show. No More Heroes feels like a small part of a built-in universe. Doing jobs in the overworld may annoy people, but it's intentional. It helps you identify with Travis Touchdown. No More Heroes is about this slacker's life living in a crappy town with nothing to do besides the job you hate and jerking off all day. Jerking off in the park, jerking off in high school, jerking off in front of girls that are crying. That's always the best one. Travis aspires to be #1, but he also has to balance a real job too. He's rewarded for being himself, a nerd, getting upgrades from watching wrestling tapes or buying graphic tees and Ed Hardy clothing. Too bad he's an incompetent moron who makes a total ass of himself constantly. But then sometimes he can actually do cool stuff to compensate. Too cringe to live, too kawaii to die. Guys want to be with him, girls want to be him. You save your progress at restrooms, and when you come back to your file, the title screen is in that specific stall while he's waiting for you. It almost feels like you're just playing through this guy's life. You ever watch a movie and think, they haven't shown these characters going to the bathroom through the whole thing? Well, this game does just that. You know how girls' periods sync up? Well, sometimes my bowel movements sync up with Travis.
And then the boy took a big crap. Hey, I'm taking a big crap. Wow!
As you rise through the ranks, becoming the top assassin, getting fame after a ranked battle, Travis just goes back to the motel he lives at, surrounded by his man-child toys. Like, what the hell else does this guy got going on with his life?
You're sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, and your life's passing you by. You keep procrastinating over and over. Well, maybe I'll go to school next year, maybe next semester. No, do it right now. They'll work with you afterwards, or you go before work.
Mr. Touchdown, please wire the money as soon as possible. Please hurry, or something unfortunate may happen.
The longer you play, the more you wonder, does he even enjoy being a hitman anymore? Travis's unique approach got him to where he is, but sometimes he just can't do things his own way. Not in this industry. The thrill of it becomes rudimentary, like any other job he wanted to escape from. Being so dedicated to this profession has made him and others lonely. That's kind of reflected in the town and any sort of auditorium in-game. Despite these characters pretending it's a full house, there's nobody around. Are they delusional? Did they kill most of the population? Everyone in this game is a complete screw-up. Yet, they're not all that bad. Maybe there is no rank and he shouldn't be comparing himself to others who might have their own issues they gotta fix. All Travis can do is be better than his past self while working together and making friends with those he once saw as competition. To be honest, I never played this game till now, but it's really hitting me hard. I ain't got the need for making YouTube videos like I used to. It felt like my life was in a rut. That's why, one night, I just said, screw it. I'm making an indie animatic pilot, Becky Prim style. I'm still working on it. Could be good. Could burn me out. Could totally suck. Point is, I gotta do something new with my life to challenge myself. I like to work alone and have full control, but not this time. I'm gonna have to learn how to work with other artists and voice actors. This will be my biggest creative project so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, No More Heroes can be full of filler that'll turn people away, but flawed games like this with average review scores can become cult classics when they feel so personal. The game's director, Suda51, was also just no otaku taking any work he could. Undertaker, Gravedigger, he needed that before he made it as a game designer. A dream job that, at times, just became a regular one. But those are reviews for another time.
But a good man finishes what he started. Fight to the end. Your most formidable opponent awaits in the castle. Now, off to the Garden of Madness.
Hey, you know what paradise is, right?
Paradise.
The place where dreams are fulfilled. Well, you've had your dream, old man. Time to wake up.
So naive. This is no paradise.
Sonic Sword! You are less than a bug. You will never make it to the top.
Some people say it's important to know when to give up. That you shouldn't aim for things that are obviously beyond your grasp. But ignore idiots like that. Don't accept defeat before the first punch has even been thrown.
It's game time.
You will pay with your life.
Why do we have to kill each other anyway? If you ask me, it's absolutely meaningless.
It's about determining who's best. That's what it's about.
Don't go on thinking you're better than me. It's just a job. The daily grind.
I want to be number one. How's that? Short and simple enough for you? It's gonna be a long, hard road. But who knows? Could kick ass. Could be dangerous. Could totally suck. Fuckhead! What do you say, bro? Join me. Let's see how far we can take this. And for you there holding the Wii remote right now, just press the A button. Let the bloodshed begin.
Rated T for teen.
It's all kinds of awesome. Tatsunoko VS Capcom Ultimate All-Stars. Available January 26th, exclusively on the Wii.
I know. Look, are you using condoms? Are you? Yes. I'm proud of you, buddy.